are you? It's Travis in here, and welcome back to our adventures with the Hardcore Warrior.
Hi.
Today we're just hanging out here in a moonwell in Silithus, guys. And today we're going to continue our journey here in Silithus. We have a few quests to finish. Hopefully we survive and don't get chased down by these elite bugs. Kind of scary sometimes. Level 60s drag them into the town. It's always a scary moment. Hope you guys are doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. A lot of big news for World of Warcraft after Gamescom. The Midnight expansion was announced, and I'm pretty excited for it. It looks pretty good. The main city in the game is going to be Silvermoon. I like that. And the reason why I like it is because I remember there was another Night Elf city that was... I wouldn't say it was the main city in Legion. The main city was Dalaran, but it was a city you hanged out in quite a bit. And it was called Suramar. It was for the Nightborn elves. The city that they lived in. And it was cool. And I think Silvermoon will kind of have that feel to it. So I'm going to enjoy it. We haven't really hanged out in Silvermoon really ever in an expansion. I think the closest must have been in like TBC when Sunwell Plateau was a raid, but for the most part in TBC people hanged out in Shadrath out in Outlands. So I think this is going to be good, guys. Take on this striker here. Maybe not. We'll wait. We have one more fang to get, guys, and then a few stingers, and then we'll be out of here. Yeah, Silvermoon. I like it. It seems like Xalatath wants to destroy the Sunwell, maybe. Has to be something going on with the Sunwell. Trailer was pretty cool. Clearly a war between, you know, the light and the dark, or the void and the light. Here we go. We got our final Skitter Fang there. Let's get a food buff. And then we'll focus on these Scorpits. New allied race. No new class. Sort of. They added like a new race and a new spec, which is good, which is all right. I don't mind that. It's pretty good, especially if you're a Demon Hunter fan. So they added a new spec called the Devourer. So now Demon Hunters have 3 specs: Havoc, Demon Hunter, and then now they have Devourer as well. And then they have the tank one, Vengeance. And this Devourer spec is a mid-range DPS spec, so it's not like a range spec, but it has ranged abilities. But for the most part, it's probably melee. It uses a mix of melee and range abilities to deal void and cosmic damage. To sort of like a void Demon Hunter. It's kind of interesting. Supposedly there's a character in the new raid, Mana Forge Omega, that is a Devourer Demon Hunter. I really got to get back into retail to like wrap my head around all this stuff, because I feel it honestly feels like I'm lost. Also, Zul'Aman, that classic, you know, troll raid back in TBC, is going to be a zone. So Zul'Aman is a zone as well. I think that's kind of cool. So we got Mr. Duststormer coming back. And the new allied race is called the Heronir. They look like trolls, but they also look like elves. It's kind of hard to say what the heck they are, but they're the Heronir, and they will have a new zone called Herondar where they reside. And I assume they'll have a city as well. So that'll be interesting to check out. Mostly all of their homes are mushrooms. I think we met them at the end of the story in the War Within that I did on the Troll Hunter. Did a little playthrough of the War Within. And then after I did that, I kind of just stopped playing the game. Just a little bit of a shame. I think I'm done doing that now, guys. I feel like I'm missing out on too much stuff. Like, if I level a character, I'm probably going to bring him into endgame. For the most part. I can't really promise every character I'll do that, but I actually want to, like, play endgame now. Because what's the point of just leveling a character and being like, okay, yeah, I'm done. Kind of want to check out endgame. I'm really enjoying playing the gnome mage. Probably, I'm looking forward to getting this character to 60. It's going to be a lot of fun getting into that pre-bis grind. It's a fun part about endgame. Probably one of the best parts. Just trying to get your pre-bis up so you can get into Molten Core and take down Ragnaros. I think that's the main goal for this character, is try to take down Rag. If I'm still motivated to keep him going, maybe we'll go and try to take down Kel'Thuzad, the final boss in vanilla. Probably keep going. But right now, the mage is the main character at the moment for endgame. And then we have the monk and the druid, kind of debating on which one I like more between the two. Let's move back a bit here. So I'm not too sure what I'll do with the monk and the druid. Most likely some PvP. That's what I really enjoyed doing, and Mr. Pandari was just some fun PvP. I mostly arena'd. I don't know if I'll do arenas again, but I'll probably do some battlegrounds, just have some fun. Casually play those characters, I think. And I want to check out retail, I honestly do. Mana Forge and Mega Raid looks awesome. And I like what they're doing with Midnight. I think Midnight's will be a pretty good expansion. It's clearly a continuation. Oh crap! It's a continuation of the War Within, but the main new game mode that. Oh my gosh, man! Why is he climbing up here? Get away from me, dude! Dirty sandworm. Slithering up here. But yeah, the housing, player housing. If player housing is a success, then it'll be a successful expansion. I think War Within is a success. Clearly, Delves is a game mode people are enjoying, so that was like the experiment of that expansion, and it seems to have worked out. So I would say the War Within is a success. I didn't really play much of it, I only leveled, but it's not like they're getting rid of Delves, right? I think the main issue with Delves, though, is it kind of took a chunk out of Mythic Plus. So there isn't as many people, I guess, like, trying to get into Mythic Plus now, since they can get pretty damn good loot from doing Delves. And they're pretty much, I think, solo-style Mythic Plus raids. Like, I haven't played retail in so long, man. They're really... But that's how it goes, right? There's all this hype around a new expansion. The new raids out. Like, there's a lot of hype around retail right now. So it's going to drag people back in. I'm kind of excited for it. I like the direction the game's going in. See how player housing is, though. I don't know if I'll be that big of a fan of it, but who knows, they could change my mind. Also, the Ghostlands has been healed. I don't know if you guys remember that in TBC. You know, the Scourge put a scar through the Silver Moon lands, and they pretty much infected it with the Scourge. That's all gone now, supposedly. Supposedly all the vegetation has grown back. Wildlife. But there is, the Void are attacking, so just when they thought they were getting a little bit of peace, things changed. So we got those quests done, guys. I'm happy we got those done. That was pretty quick.
Well, spit it out.
Are you done collecting those samples? We could use a Noggle any minute now.
Cross your fingers, friend. Here's to hoping we can save Noggle. Blasted. The antidote didn't work. Noggle must have been stung by one of the stronger creatures in the far south.
Yeah,
I'm
not
going
going
to
there.
need you to go there and get me some more samples, adventurer. The good news is that since their poison is stronger, I won't require as many. The bad news is that there are more kinds of poisonous creatures crawling around the southern area, so you'll have to draw from more sources.
Yep. Not doing that. Let's get the heck out of here.
Where would you like to fly to?
Where would we like to fly to? Probably Felwood. It's either we go... Well, the thing is, I have Undercity. We could take a... Could go down here. I don't know.
Where
We'll
would
go
you
to
like
Felwood.
to fly to?
Let's go to Felwood. It's quite the journey to get all the way down there. I think we'll farm for a little bit, get 59. And then maybe we'll take a little break from Felwood. Got a comment recently saying, like, isn't this boring? There's, like, nobody around. It's like, yeah, I understand, like, you know, your perspective on that. We are at the... I'd say 50 to 60 is one of the most dull parts of hardcore WoW. The main reason is because there's just a lot of people aren't at this level. And you're kind of segregated into the 50 bracket. So level 60s don't really want to play with you and do dungeons with you, right? Because they would prefer to play with 60s because it's hardcore. And they want to, you know, when you're playing hardcore and you're stepping foot into a dungeon, you always want to put your best foot forward, because if you lose your character, that's over 200 hours down the drain. So the 50s are probably the most dull parts of the hardcore journey, in my opinion. Kind of just killing stuff, trying to get 60. If you have a group of friends, though, it can be a lot of fun, because you can start your pre-bis grind a little bit earlier at 55. The end game pretty much starts in the 50s. You can actually start, you know, getting your Onyxia tune going, getting your pre-bis going. But if you're a player like me who doesn't really have a network of people to play with, you know, it's just pretty much me solo. I'm playing self-found. It's kind of a grind. It's just a grind. You just grind your way to 60. Once you hit 60, people will bring you in. All the 60s will be like, okay, 60s allowed in the group now. Let's do some dungeons, right? You join a guild. You've gotten through the grind, the leveling grind, and now it's time for endgame. One thing we could do is Maradon. Could farm Maradon for some bosses. But to be honest, most people are in these level zones, right? If you're a lower level, you'll see a lot more people. There's always people leveling up new characters in hardcore, and most people die from levels 1 to 25. Those are the most common levels for deaths, I would say. So the more you level up, the less people there are out there. But once you hit 60, there's a huge community of 60s there waiting for you. What these guys died to. Died to a Voidwalker minion in Duratar. It's probably at Skull Rock. Add Thrall's Bud, please. And this shaman died to a Slime Shell Makura in the Barrens. It's rough. Died to a Makura down the water. That's rough. Right near Ratchet. Looks like he was trying to get the Ratchet or something like that. Or he was hanging out in the valley. Or is it the Valley of Trials? I don't even know how the heck he got out there. There's another, 1 to 25 dead. Skinny bitch. Died to lava in Ragefire Chasm. Did a little dungeon. And, fell in the lava and died. It happens. Another 1 to 25 just died. But yeah, you can see what I mean. There's a lot more people at the lower levels. It gets a little more isolated, especially from 50 to 60. 40 to 50 is all right. It's not too bad. You got Zul'Farrak, you got, Razorfen Downs, like this warrior's going to. It's not bad. People are a little bit more anxious around those levels. The dungeons get a little bit more toxic, I noticed. Not all people are like that, but there's like 10 to 20% of players that get kind of toxic around those levels, and the reason why they're like that, I assume, is because they put a lot of time into their character and they don't want to lose it, and they don't trust the tank. And I was usually tanking, so I dealt with some healers just leaving the group because I didn't go the way they wanted me to go. Very strange. That's when it's just my opinion. I don't know if it's always like that, but I ran into some weird healers in the 40s. 1 to 40 was pretty damn good. Tanked a bunch of dungeons. Did a little DPS as well. And back then there was a lot more people playing. They had the OnlyFangs thing going on. We had over 10 layers of full layers playing. And it's clearly it's gone down, right? OnlyFangs has done a new streamer movement started up on the Alliance side called Frontier. So the Alliance is getting a little bit more love. And it feels more like a server. I honestly think that there shouldn't be layers. I think layers should probably be done, or it should be only at 2 instead of 3. And the server, I would say, is at like a medium pop. And I think that feels more like back in 2006 WoW. Like 2006 WoW, like people weren't on like these mega servers like they have today. And I will admit, the non-hardcore servers are more fun. Because there's a lot more people at max level, right? Because they don't die if they don't lose their character when they die, right? It's just a different game. This isn't even vanilla WoW. This is like a different game altogether. Hardcore WoW is... It's a version of WoW that probably should have never existed, but it's here. Right? People put 200 hours in a character, and once it dies, it's over. Like, it's kind of crazy. And you have to play a dull and boring way to get here, right? You don't have to, but it's smart to. If you play, like, taking risks all the time and doing, like, huge pulls, you're going to lose your character. You can really only do stuff like that on a character that's, it's kind of cool here. can really only do risky stuff on non-hardcore servers. That's why I think the mage will be like my main character. This one will probably just be like, I'm gonna play with this character, but the thing is, it's like these hardcore servers aren't going anywhere. So, however long this journey takes for me to get to Ragnaros, or maybe even Kel'Thuzad if we keep going. Like, I'm not gonna stop till we die. But I'll probably play this character. We'll play this character quite a bit. I'm looking forward to 60. It's just we're not there yet. But I understand why people think it's kind of like, you know, it's one mob at a time. But that's just how you do it. One mob at a time. That's just how it is. Because it's kind of silly. Like, I took risks on the way up. Like, joining all those dungeons with random people was a huge risk. I was joining random dungeons. I took enough risks. Now I'm just playing it safe till 60. Me going to Silithus was a risk. Like, I wouldn't even... Like, I only go to those... I only went to other zones just so it wouldn't be just me killing mobs in Felwood and Winterspring for, you know, 70 hours. Or 60 hours, however long it is. Probably have another 30 hours to go. That's how long it takes to get from 58 and a half almost to 60. But yeah, that's my little rant about that. Got 10 minutes on a layer 1. I wonder if we're even on layer 1. I wonder if I'm on layer 1. Maybe, maybe not. But it's fun. Hardcore is very fun in the beginning. It's like 1 to 40 is a blast. The first half, and then the second half, you start running into some toxic players in dungeons. That kind of usually gets you away from dungeons. If you survive that long. And then after the 40s, you get to the 50s. You don't really want to take any risks from 50 to 60. You've already put so much time in the character. It's silly to put yourself in a situation where you could die. And the most likely place for you to die is in a dungeon, because you have no control. Dungeons and raids, there's no control. If somebody makes a mistake, you can lose your character. Right? Say there's a dragon with a dragon's breath, and like a DPS just decides to go hard, and the tank gets parried and dodged, and then the DPS pulls the boss, and then boom, you're standing right next to that guy. The boss flame breaths, and then you lose your character. Happens all the time. So, leveling this way, I consider to be a better way to level. We'll come back here in 8 minutes. We're on layer 1, so that's good. Do a little bit of farming here. We'll get ourselves a Songflower, and we'll just do a little bit of farming, guys. Get some XP. And it's a challenge. That's another thing about hardcore. It's not... It's supposed to be fun, but it's also like a challenge to get to 60, right? Like, that's also the fun part. It's the challenge of getting there without dying. Now, when people do WoW challenges, they usually restrict you as a player, right, from what you can do. Like, I'm playing Selfbound, so I can't use the auction house. I can't trade, which means, you know, I can't, like, get amazing items that buff my character. So I start doing an insane amount of damage. I can't buy a bunch of, you know, elixirs and stuff like that. And we're playing hardcore. So I can't just, you know, pull all these mobs and see what I can do. You know what I mean? I can't just try stuff. I have to just do it one at a time and take 100% wins, you know? And that's just how hardcore is played. Kind of restricted. That's kind of the fun part, sort of. And the more restricted you are, the more lame you have to play. Like, I call it lame because it's you have to pull one mob at a time. Like, it's like you have to play more careful, right? You have to take less risk. I just call that I call it lame. I don't know why. I just do. Because you're always trying to take 100% wins. Even in the raids, players play like the raid will use lame strategies or exploitive strategies to guarantee that nobody dies. Right? Like they're not gonna pull a bunch of trash then the boss like they could in a non-hardcore server and do something that's like insane that you would never see. So it's just a different type of game altogether. And it's the journey that's fun, in my opinion. It's all about the journey. The journey's the fun part. But I will admit the 50s are probably the least fun of the journey. I'm the type of player that likes dungeons and raids. That's my favorite part. You know, getting loot. That's my favorite thing to do in WoW. So this part here, we're just grinding XP for the most part, not seeing many upgrades. It's not my favorite part, I will admit, but we're almost out of it. And once we hit 60, we'll be having a lot of fun getting Prebis, and good chance we might die as well. But I'm gonna come in prepared to these dungeons, like way over prepared. I'm gonna be going into Black Rock Depths with like full world buffs. And that's a lame way of playing, right? Because you're going in like a god class, just annihilating everything when you don't really even need to do that. And even like guilds and anniversary, like the regular servers, everybody plays like full world bus, full consumes, optimized raids, full of warriors, so they can clear the raid in an hour and nobody dies. Or like they have like 1 to 2 deaths, but they clear the raids very fast. And the reason why they do that is they play lame because they want to get the most amount of loot in the least amount of time. That's what it's all about. Like, you don't need world buffs. You don't need all those consumes to clear the raid. People just want to clear the raid in the fastest amount of time so they can get loot as fast as they can. And then do other stuff, right? Because there's always more to do when you're playing these MMOs, right? And also, right, they want to get the loot fast so they can go back to IRL and deal with their responsibilities that they have. Yeah, it's my little, I don't know, I just went on like a tangent there. But that's how I view the game, I guess you could say. That's how I view hardcore. Just classic in general at the moment. But yeah, that's what that's what I consider lame to be. It's just you're playing very optimized, and you're trying to have 100% probability of winning. That's playing lame, in my opinion. Like, you're not taking any risk. And that's how I'm playing right now. I'm not taking risks. I'm just trying to 100% get to 60. Next time I level a character, I'll probably take more risks. This character's a little bit special for me because I've never gotten a warrior to 60 in hardcore before, so I really want to do that because I do consider warrior to be the hardest class to get to 60. And then another class I consider pretty damn hard to get to 60 as well as the shaman. I think shamans are pretty tough as well, but not as bad as warriors because, you know, they have Ghost Wolf and totems that slow, like Tremor Totem, and we have a totem that slows. I forget the name of all the totems. It's been a long time. And they can heal themselves. But the thing about shamans that makes them kind of weak, their defensive cooldowns are pretty crappy. They don't really have a lot of defensive cooldowns. So if they do get caught, they most likely die, which is sort of like how a warrior is. My warrior's main defensive cooldown is retaliation. Like, yeah, you could go shield spec. You can pop your shield on and do shield wall, but shield wall doesn't really help too much if you're surrounded by mobs and and you know, you're not going to kill them with shield wall, right? So most people use retal. So we're going to pick up this Songflower here. This will give us a nice buff. And it helps us play a little bit more lame, right? we get 5% crit, 15 attributes. And like there's challenges that I would consider to be like very like where you have to play very lame to get through them. Like I've seen this guy who's doing it's like on Reddit. He said he was doing no gear. He's just one punch man challenge, and he's just punching, no gear, just punching as a warrior all the way to 60. Like, you know what I mean? There's not much going on there, you know? He's just punching all the way to 60. And as a warrior, you can't use heroic strike if you don't have a melee weapon. So it's pretty brutal. I think the only ability you can use without a melee weapon is Thunderclap. So what you're mostly doing is just Thunderclapping the whole time to do extra damage. And then once you build down your Fury Tree, you get Bloodthirst. You don't need a weapon for Bloodthirst. So Bloodthirst is like a game changer. I think that's at around level 40. But that is a very long challenge. That is where you're just pulling one at a time and just trying to survive. But people like it, right? I think it's just because of the challenge. It's sort of like Iron Man. Iron Man's a lot like that too. You know, your character's pretty damn weak, and you kind of have to pull one at a time. If you don't, then you're most likely gonna die. We're gonna get out of Felwood though. I want to go up to Winter Spring and farm some Furbolgs up there because they drop Firewater. You can use Firewater. It gives us a bunch of attack power. Allows us to, you know, kill mobs faster. And we'll get more XP. So we'll make our way up to Winter Spring. Maybe we'll eventually go down to this zone here. Burning Steps. There's a few quests that are kind of easy here that we could check out. But to be honest, by the time we got down there, we could probably get the XP that we would gain from those quests just from farming up like where we're at. Got a debuff right now, Infected Wound. Increases physical damage by 11. Those challenges are kind of interesting, though. Like, even though, you know, people play very safe because they have to or they lose their character, they're interesting to see, like, what you can do or what you can actually pull. Like, seeing a dungeon with a bunch of nakeds and, like, you have a guy who just punches. That'd be kind of, I don't know, I think that'd be kind of interesting to see if they could live. You have a healer with no gear, and then I guess four warriors just punching their way through a dungeon. I think that's why people do those challenges, because they've leveled these characters like me like so many times that they just want to have something a little bit different, just to spice things up. Which is cool, right? If you're leveling an alt, you might as well spice it up a bit. Check it out. This guy just got the Songflower there. And then he booned it, getting it ready for raid or whatever dungeon he's going to do. Kill this wolf. But yeah, what I'm pretty much trying to say is I wouldn't judge hardcore based off of, you know, level 50 leveling. It's probably like the worst way to judge it. It's a lot of fun at the low levels. Like, a lot of people, they just level a character. Like, their hardcore experience, most people, is just level them from 1 to 25, and they just die to something funny and silly, and that's it. And they do it over again. And it's always a different story, right? The journey is always different. And it's fun doing that. I think that's the fun part about hardcore. And, like, when you're about to die, there's this feeling of anxiety, and you're freaked out, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this the end? It's like a near-death experience. Not that extreme, but it tries to simulate that. Look at this group. That's another fun way of leveling. You level with a bunch of people. That is lame. That is lame on steroids. Like, you don't want to die? Just have 3 people just leveling together, man. With a level 60 riding with you. There's no way you die. Unless you do, like, an insane pull of, like, I don't know, 10 mobs. This warrior's deck, though, he's got, like, some gear from Upper Blackrock Spire and lower. He's got some dungeon loot. That's a cool thing about vanilla, is that you can look at somebody's gear and be like, I know where he got that and that item. Kind of know where he's at in the game based on the loot he's wearing. That's another thing that they're changing in Midnight, guys. The transmog is going to be free. So players are going to save thousands of gold on transmog. It's kind of it is ridiculous that you get charged to change your gear. Like, I guess they use that as sort of like a way to, as a gold sink, right? So I'm happy that they got rid of the charge for transmog. And you never know, this could be a guy on like 3 different accounts. Like these are all his characters. He's got a... There's 260. Oh, there's 56 rogue, and are they gonna fight all these? Let's go. Oh, they did he mind controlled one. Get him. Got him. There you go. They just want me to get out of here. I'm leaving. Don't worry, I'm leaving, guys. But it's fun playing with friends. If you can find somebody that's willing to, like, you know, level with you for that much time. It still takes a long time to level that way. You're just looking at least 6 to 7 days. A Moonfire Totem? Moonflare Totem. Hopefully we get a few things here. We get a bit of firewater today. And we're getting our rep up with Timbermaw, which is good. That'll unlock a few quests for us. And a lot of people at 60 farm out here just for the firewater. I was with a 60 hunter that we were just running around with until I realized he was 60. Finished this quest here. He grouped up with us because he wanted to make sure he had a chance at the firewater. I don't think we've gotten a firewater yet, and we've slain quite a few of these guys. It's just a great place to be, man. We're not getting any nasty debuffs. We're not getting... There we go, firewater. No poison stacks. Increases your melee attack power by 35. And also increases your size for 20 minutes. It's 350 strength. There's one level 54 out here. There we go. We'll use it, and we're even bigger now. Yeah, this is where it's at. But we're gonna have to compete with other people. There's always gonna be other people here farming these guys. Don't want to get too confident though, but maybe we could handle 2. Cool that you can range pull that mob and not pull the Den Watcher. So that hunter just did. But he's doing the same thing that I'm thinking of. You just hang out here till 60, man. You'll get a bunch of firewater. You'll get your Timbermaw rep up. All this firewater here, you're going to want to use at 60 anyways. And then you can always just pick up the Songflower buff, make your character, you know, even stronger while you're out here leveling. I know I've talked about it a million times, but I just think it's a smart way of leveling to 60. Either do it this way, or you Or you try to get your Prebus going. If you have a group of buddies or guildies that you can get your Prebus going a little bit earlier, or your Nixia attunement, then that's, you know, obviously worth doing as well. That's what I did on the mage. I kind of just focused on Prebus from 50 to 60. And we pretty much had the Nixia attunement completed once we hit 60. We still have some quests here for the Nova Stone. And then we have this one, the Winterfall Shop. We probably do this quest. A little scary. We're a higher level over there. We got the loofah back. Because we're not in the Plague Lands anymore, so if we need to remove a bleed effect. We got it. And our mount looks like we're moving a little slower, and the reason why is because we're bigger than we usually are. It probably increases our aggro radius too, which isn't always a good thing. Our hitbox is probably much bigger, especially as a Tauren. Yeah, nobody here, another hunter doing the same thing. But it's okay, we don't have to farm these guys, right? There's other mobs out there for us. You can farm Yetis. And I bet if we went over here, there'd probably be at that level 60 farming there as well for the Firewaters. And I guess that's like a positive about layers, is just, you know, we could just layer to another layer and then maybe there's nobody farming there. But layers make they kind of make medium pops the server feel a little less populated, especially at higher levels. So we'll just farm here on these bears. And our kicks are doing a little bit more damage now. Does 50 damage since we upgraded it to rank 2. Crap. A little bit of poison on us there. Yeah, the new Call of Duty was announced at Gamescom as well. I wonder how that'll do. Who will win between Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty Black Ops 7? I've always been more of a fan of Black Ops. I like COD back in the day, like Black Ops 1 when I used to play COD. It was a long time ago. It's Black Ops 7 now. Oh, we got the debuff, Fettering Rash. I forgot about that. It's one of the debuffs we want to avoid. We got that from the Boom Kit, didn't we? Uses all attributes by 22. Forgot about those. Yeah, we'll try to avoid those Moonkins in the future. The Raging Owl Beast, Festering Rash. Another hunter there. A lot of hunters out here farming. I think hunter's a pretty good farming class. Probably one of the best. As like a hardcore alt. Say either that, like either a hunter or I think rogue would be really good because of Vanish, right? Can kind of go to dangerous areas where other players wouldn't go and do a little bit of mining. Like down here, there's a bunch of rich thorium veins, but it's surrounded by, you know, elites. So kind of need Vanish to go down there. I went down there on my mage and a rogue killed me. He was farming. It's getting chased by a bunch of elite demons. It was a while back. I think it's before I hit 60. We were just leveling out here. We still have a few Yeti quests we could do here. The 2 pristine Yeti horns. Could try to do that. It's another level 58 quest. A few quests to do out here. And then there's the Wild Guardians. Probably go up here for it. Down here's a little dangerous. It's not too bad here, though. The more south you go, the worse it gets. Yeah, there we go. We made it, guys. We went to the Plague Lands, went down to Silithus, did a few quests, and we're back home in our favorite endgame zone, Winter Spring. But as always, guys, next episode we'll probably do one of these quests. Try to get them completed. But that is going to be the end of today's episode, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.